yeti ndupikiri coronavirus non ko gonga anda bale anda dane anda paykun anda mawdo wari africans be boyka hore leydi sabu non ala lekki kono kibaruji welde di woni ndu hebi haray pikiro bayna fo ñetti o vaccine jol ko kala yoreno dedindi labi ko dum non ko fewno coronavirus no wodi o nyawono bukan waringe si million sa jupae kungangar ama pikreti coronavirus ko kan ko sumut kan manje bajuta nyil bajuta nine bajuta nifa bajuta nine bajuta stek kaka ko sumut kan manje bukana tuku gore badne baj ke bare sumu yene tere gudi ko sumut kati coronavirus tate ten tembe nyaaji baj pikreti ko nem vacciner manje anosan awurna pour mana janga yo bangola tanka fanga fa ko sumut kati covid-19
in the elections today. The people listened to us. They heard our program. We also listened to them and heard their concerns and views. And we endeavored to address them via our program. On December 4, 2021, the people spoke their opinion and chose their leader. The results were announced by the IEC, and the credibility of the election was confirmed by all international and domestic observers. We have also looked at the materials in our possession and the information we have, and have concluded that even though there might have been irregularities here and there might have been some violations of the law here and there. By and large, the election results, in our opinion, represents the verdict of the Gambia. As such, it behoves all of us to respect that decision and come together as a people to try to foster the unity of the Gambian people, try to promote and strengthen the peace of this country, and we move ahead and focus on national development. As an entity that is just a new entrant in the politics of our country, we will now focus on trying to build our brand, make it more acceptable to the Gambian people, and prepare to participate and win future elections. At the present moment, I know emotions and tensions are high. It behoves all of us, all citizens and residents alike, to put aside the differences and try to ensure calm, try to ensure that the peace for which this country is well known for is not broken. We are a very small country with a few people relative to everywhere else. And we are all connected in a very significant way. It is therefore important that we put aside whatever differences we may have and come together as one people and try to reinforce and strengthen the peace that we have. As far as our team is concerned, the elections are over. The leader has been elected. We believe it is our responsibility to respect that position and to live with it and to work with it. On that note, I have called President-elect Adam Obama and congratulated him on his re-election. And we have had a good conversation about the future of this country. Like I have always said, no single person or a group of people own this country. This country belongs to all of us. Therefore, all of us have an equal responsibility in ensuring that this country stays together and that the people of this country enjoy the peace we have always enjoyed. And it is now time for all of us to join hands and work together for the upliftment of our people and for the development of our country. All of you may know that I have been to the house of Honorable Lawyer Usainu Dabo yesterday, wherein we issued a statement together with other political leaders rejecting the election results. Yes, I did that because I believed at the time that it was the right thing to do. Because at the time we believed that the election victory was procured through certain illegal means, including what I call community vote buying. That is, you take certain incentives or inducements to communities to get them to vote. We have made this complaint consistently throughout the campaign to both domestic and international observers. We have also made the same complaint to the IEC. And for that reason, as a lawyer, thinking only about legal issues, my conclusion was that the election result may be true, but that result was obtained through means that are prohibited by Gambian law. And that is why I participated in issuing that statement. My going to the house of Honorable Usainu Dabo and meeting him and Honorable Kande had no other purpose apart from discussing the outcome of the election and what we felt we could do as political leaders. I understand that some have misinterpreted my appearance there as a coalition or as an alliance between or among these political leaders who are present there. And let me hasten to say that there was no alliance or coalition. That was far from what we were thinking. This was a unique moment in which we had to discuss a particular matter of importance and urgency in the political landscape. And it was important that as leaders, we did that. People may have different opinions as to whether that was ill-advised or whether it was the right thing to do. I believed that it was the right thing to do because as a Gambian, what we believe is in respect for elders. And in view of the situation in which Honorable Usainu Dabo was, I deemed it necessary to go to his house for that meeting. If by respecting others, especially our adults, and respecting people who have served this country in very high capacities, if by doing so, people vilify me, well, I accept responsibility for that and still will stick to respecting our seniors. That's the way I was brought up. That's the way I have always lived my life. And that is the way I wish to continue to live my life. Respecting others should not be a crime. But let me tell you, dear Gambians, Essa Mbye Faal or the team I am with, who push me, who encourage me every day, who come out with our policies, who fund our campaign, who drive and motivate us. We would never, ever contemplate doing anything that is unlawful or anything that would jeopardize the peace of this country. We will never do that. Be rest assured of that. We are very decent and patriotic people who love our country above everything else. We would never be found doing things that would jeopardize the safety and security of people or anything that would bring this country into problems. Never. You have seen me in action. You have seen what happened at the TRRC. When the mob went out for Yankuba Ture, it was me who went out on the radios and make announcements that must stop. Mr. Ture had rights, and the law must be respected. People must not take the law in their own hands. Throughout our campaign, you have seen how our people have conducted themselves. Every morning before we departed to any places, we read out our rules to our members. Respect everybody. Be careful how you operate in the traffic. Do not insult people. Do not throw stones. Do not argue with people. For this is the way we believe we must comport ourselves. Being respectful of others and being respectful of the law. And also wanting to see the prosperity of the country and its people. That is our ethos. And that is why we were the first candidates to have issued our own code of conduct, which would guide us in the campaign. And that is also the reason why, during the campaign, in the middle of it, I left the campaign to come to the town to sign a code of conduct, which is basically similar to the code of conduct we had already received. And that is why I also had to leave the campaign to come down and participate in a presidential debate. It was all aimed at respecting the people of this country, showing everybody in this country that we are people of honor, people of truth, and people of the law. So, and that is why we conduct ourselves in that manner. After signing the statement rejecting the election results, we had to come back to base and further review our material and our evidence and the information we have. And upon doing that, we came to the conclusion that, yes, there might have been violations of the law here and there. But the evidence that we have, we believe, was not sufficient to warrant going to court. And for the simple reason that a lot of us were also involved in the same activity to varying degrees. And he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. And because of the respect we have for the law, we said to ourselves, look, we cannot take this to court. And we cannot, on the basis of this, steer anxiety amongst the people. So we decided that we would withdraw from all potential legal actions. I called Honorable Mama Kande and informed him of our decision. And I also spoke to Honorable Hussein Dabo and informed him of our decision. Last night, we issued a statement to the press stating our position. From now onwards, Team Sobera would focus on building our brand with a view to positioning ourselves to contest in future elections of this country. For we believe that we have a lot to contribute to the development of the country. We believe that the political space is open for us to participate as well-meaning Gambians to the upliftment of our people and to the development of our country. That is what we have to say. I thank you for listening, and I will take some questions.
Thank you very much. We'll entertain some questions. Your name, Media House, and one question from the Media House. Yes.
Listening to you, you mentioned that you will work actually in order to create avenue for in the prosperity of your society to the development of the country. So I want to know, what are some of the initiatives you have for the youth, especially women and children, and more especially those with physical those with physical disability?
Thank you very much for that question. Unfortunately, we are not in government, and there is hardly much we can do to uplift the plight of these people. But there are certain things we can do. We can be policy advocates for things that would advance their cause. We could come up with initiatives that could also help their cause. But we are not in government to implement policy. As a would-be political party, by God's grace, we can take positions that may galvanize the government of the day to also take certain actions. But beyond that, there is hardly much we can do. I do hope that someday, by the grace of God, we will be given responsibility for the governance of this country. And when that happens, you will see that the policies that we have in our blueprint would be implemented. Policies that are pro-youth and pro-women. Policies that are pro-physically challenged Gambians. Policies that would ensure that there is no discrimination for these people. Policies that would ensure that there are investments in the areas that concern them. Say for the youth, we would be concerned about reducing the problem of youth unemployment. We would be concerned about ensuring that we provide suitable education for the Gambian youth. Education that would put them firmly in the 21st century. Education that would equip and enable them to be independent people, people who are able to fend for themselves even if they are not employed. So these are the kinds of things we have, but unfortunately we're not in government and cannot.
It's a process before you be in government. It's a process working on policies that will ensure that these people are
those policies have already been worked upon and are crystallized in our blueprint. Perhaps maybe what we can do next is what I have just mentioned, which is to be advocates of these important policies, to ensure that we keep the government in check and to keep the government alive to these issues so that they can take the necessary steps to help make the necessary investments that will benefit these groups of people. Thank you.
Yes, Andy.
Yes, Landin Sise Kefan. Would Essa Faal consider to be running as for parliamentary election in April, like Julius Malemo of South Africa and Robert Kyagulanyi of Uganda?
I doubt that. I doubt that for a lot of reasons. Running for president in this country is very tedious, time-consuming, and also financially draining, especially for a small team like ours that is rejecting big ones. We refuse to take big money from donors. We refuse to take money from non-members. So all our campaign was funded by ourselves from our humble resources. So it's been a bit financially challenging. But above that, we have to regroup, we have to reorganize, we have to prepare ourselves. Look, we had 90 days to do what we did, to announce, and get nominated and participate campaign for the elections. It's been quite tough. 90 days, it's just 90 days, you know. So, and I think we can pat ourselves in the back for what we have achieved. If we now want to participate in parliamentary elections, it would be very tough. But we will reassess our situation and see what is the best thing for us to do. Now we have the next 5 years to prepare. So we would want to make sure that we do it very, very well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I am Parliament Party from LSTV1. Mr. Faal, my question is, I know all the time you've been talking about helping to develop this country, and many believe Essa can help in the development of this country. And if Team Essa Faal or Essa Mbye Faal is given the chance to, or given the chance by President Barrow to be one of his ministers, will you be ready to grant or get the position?
Look, these are things for which there is no yes or no answer. You know, it depends on the needs of the country and what I think is best at the time. So to say a yes or a no would not be appropriate under the circumstances. These are things that are better left untouched until the occasion presents itself, and then you evaluate the situation at that time and make what one believes is the right decision. For me, it's not about position. If it was about position, I would have entered a coalition before the election. But it's not about position. If it is about position, maybe I should be on my way to The Hague tomorrow, because I have also been offered a job at The Hague, at the International Criminal Court. So it is not about that. It is about being available to help my country. And I am ready to do that. That's why I am here. Mr. Sanyan wants to say something.
Okay. My name is Alaji Sanyan and I'm the campaign chairman. Our belief is that as Gambians, we can help with Gambia without being ministers. And if you look at the composition of the executive of Essa Mbye Faal campaign team, and everything that we've wanted is not positions, it's what can we do to help the country. And we all know what Essa Mbye Faal did at the TRRC. And many of you can attest that he did more for the country than several of the ministers who were there. So yes, he will be participating in the development of the country, not necessarily being a minister, but as a private citizen also, he can help in the development of the country. There are several private citizens who are out there who are doing more than several of the ministers. Thank you.
Yes. Rana, you want to ask a question? You good? Any other? Yes.
I am Ali Joe. Many of the people are in a suspense to know as to whether this Somalia movement will be modified into a political party as a movement. So what do you have to tell the people out there? Is it going to be maintained as a movement and you know, contesting as an independent candidate to it will be modified into a political party? You contest under the banner of the political party.
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. But in all likelihood, it would be changed to a political party. I mean, maybe some of you don't know, but it is very tough to run as an independent candidate without structures, and especially for the little time we had, 90 days, to contest a nationwide elections. It is very, very tough. We are used to challenges, and we are used to conquering challenges. And that was one of the reasons why we were bold and audacious and believed that we could conquer this enormous mountain. But here we are. We did not succeed in doing that. This opportunity presents itself for us to reorganize and better position ourselves for the future. And we believe that a political party is the way to go, for the simple reason that it compels you to have the necessary structures and the footholds in the local communities, which are really important in helping any political party put its agenda out there and have that connection with the local people to enable an opposition itself to win an election. So the answer to your question is yes, we are planning another.
One very last question. You have congratulated the president. It seems that you are not moved by position, but instead moved by the fact that you want to contribute to the development of the state. So, what advice do you have for the government about corruption? What would you like to recommend to the government?
It feels like you've been listening into some conversations as the fly on the wall. Look, we did not just run for president because we just want to be president. We ran because there are certain problems in our society which require that we solve them for the development of this country. And we thought that we could do something about it. That's why we participated in this election. And corruption is one that is very significant and very high up in our agenda. We do believe that it's because of the corruption in this country. That's why the Gambia is listed as 152 out of 153 countries was to do business with. So something has to be done about it. As a lawyer, I see corruption as a human rights violation. And you know what? Just imagine if there is to be a road going into Kerseri, right? And somebody thinks that she or he deserves it better than all of us and pockets the money. Our rights to that development have been violated. And that is and the corruption is also one contribution to instability in countries. We don't want that instability. But it also impoverishes people. Just imagine people's salaries stolen, or projects that would improve, say, the healthcare of people.
If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's money transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
Est-il vrai que le vaccin contre le coronavirus a été créé pour développer THR race noire? Il n'y a aucune preuve scientifique que le vaccin contre le coronavirus a été créé pour réduire la race noire, en particulier les Africains. En fait, cela vous aide à vous protéger du coronavirus. Alors, faites-vous vacciner, vous, votre famille et la société.